Welcome to everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. It's nice to have so many people attending on the weekend. So, this is very close to all our hearts because it's like our plant or tree or kids growing up and how fast they grow. So, it's our duty to make sure that they do what they love to do and they fly in wherever they do are, especially it's for me. Of course it's a very very close experiencing as a mother because our daughter is going this month to going abroad for a higher education. So most of the time I am going to tell about our real stories, how we have done, people have done, and what we recommended to make sure they do what they can, even in abroad or India or wherever it is. So child education is one of the major part of a financial planning. So whenever we do financial planning, I was doing, I think so yesterday or day before yesterday. So three things comes very common. One is retirement, which is the topmost. Then second is child education. So child education, before we used to take care of graduations, now it has become graduation and a post graduation. Most of the time people are looking post graduation even abroad, and that is creating quite a good amount of money. But good news is always there. The thing is, we can take an education loan here. So that's a very, very good part. So today we will just start with how to maximize the child education fund and have a peace of mind, that very well said by Oprah Winfrey is education is key to unlocking the world, a passport of freedom. And this reminds me, being myself as an Viproite, a lot of people says that Azim Premji Foundation is been of course doing amazingly, but they focus only on the education, and the reason is they are the our future, and if they are educated they can do and make the change. So let's start with how we can make the education fund, which is the ups and downs, because that's their bright future, our nation's bright generation. You can say Z, generations X, Z, whatever, millennials, whatever we will say that, but they are going to change our way of thinking itself. So if you know that today we will say that, oh, engineering is not required. Yesterday I was watching one video, somebody has sent it across with the AI and chat GPT. They said you don't need a programmer. Why you have to make sure your kids are going into the computer programming? And I keep thinking that very clearly in my mind. If everything is done by AI, chat GPT, what we are going to do? But yes, but you need a people thinking behind the AI, how they have to analyze. And that's where we are thinking that how we will give the out of box thinking, the way of life skills to them, and make sure that they are able to do the best with their capability. And everybody is unique in this world, which is my belief, and they are good. So sometimes it's not necessary that everybody is good in academics. They may be good in sports and they're good in maybe skills like nowadays, a lot of times are coming the digital marketing, blogging, language, quite a lot of things. So that's the good news is they have tons of options. What they are good at, they can be doing that part of it. Our times we will always have a four major things where we are thinking that how to be an engineer or a doctor or taking care of financials or making rockets. These are the things, their dreams, and how we can make a wings to make their dreams plan happening is what is our thought. So I'll give you examples. These are my just few, but there are many more. And the best part of the new generation is because my daughter is 22 years old and I get to know other side of it. She's an intern also in us, so she will say that what we speak and what per person perceive is very different. And that is one thing I have realized it. They have n number of opportunity to do what they can do it. It's not necessary that only the structural things we have to do it. So she has done a BBA. So of course, when she has been seeing me and Anil's working, of course I don't work so hard as Anil, but yeah, she keeps saying I don't want it to become a wealth manager or what you both are doing. We are not a person. We thought, okay, you do what you like to do. So we have uh, things are changed, so they are very comfortable. They said, okay, we will have a mentor. We have appointed a mentor and attend. They have a series of things to tell them that, okay, what you enjoy the most, what you like the most, all the related things. You write the job related to that. For example, if you love traveling, so one of hers is traveling. Okay, what kind of jobs you can do where you will travel more and you enjoy most, like that. They went across, and coincidentally after 3 years, because she started after 12th, she realized that she loves the wealth management. So she's going for a PG in the wealth management, and that question comes to her every time and asks me, I'm doing such a big degree, I'm going abroad doing this, and after 3 years or 4 years, if I don't like this job, what will happen? And I wanted to tell you the same thing what I have been telling her. The academics is giving you the basic concept to understand, but a life skill is much much bigger than that. So not necessary if your kid has studied, for example, engineering. I have a friend who has been a dentist and he is a very good developer. He's been a very successful developer kind of it. So not necessary what they do, they may have some other passion and they change it. So my example I keep giving to her is, actually I did an MCA, I did a core hardcore programming for 15 years in Wipro and Infosys with the delivery management and all, and last 15 years I am doing a wealth management and I enjoying both the side. So we have to support them, understand them, and make sure them that whatever they do, they should do what they are happy with. It's not necessary that, okay, I have spent so much of my parents' money or my education time, even though I don't enjoy, I should do and go ahead. So that's the one thing I wanted to tell you, everybody, that this stress is not necessary. Of course, whatever they are doing, we will support them. That's the best part of our each and every parents and grandparents. So today I'm going to give more detail on how the child education, what are the trends happening in child education, how we don't realize that child education with inflation is going high. I'm sure all of you must have seen itself in the school fees itself. It's growing more than 10% inflation itself. How to take care of cost of inflation if the kids are going abroad, how we can make sure that we are choosing the right degree or a country or whatever it is, how to calculate, how to make the goals for the child. So child's goals or your financial goals, it's like a Google map. So when you are going somewhere, so let me see, from here to MG Road, I'm in a Bangalore South Banagata Road, and I'm wanted to go maybe after 2 hours. So first thing I normally check it is how long it takes, and then I will decide which route to take. So they have a best route, they have a toll-free route. As you grow going towards a route, they will say, okay, it is getting jammed, so they will say across, okay, you can have an alternative route. But all these routes are available only when you set the target part of it. And the same thing is a child education or your retirement or whatever goals you have to fix that goal first, and then we can do it. So another thing what I have been noticing a lot of time, it happens that I don't know what my kids are going to do. Of course, if you ask me, having a kid of 22 and 16, I also don't know what they're going to do. I know what they're studying, but I don't know that what they're going to do. But in our imagination, we will say, okay, an average degree in Bangalore or anywhere, it's costing around 20 lakhs. So I will just plan for 20 lakhs. If my master is approximately 50 lakhs as on today, I will plan at 50 lakhs as on today. So that's where we have to give approximation. Of course, very, very few parents are very lucky. We can find it out earlier that their kids are how inclination towards something. I have two customers, very precise and clear. Their kids are 8 and 9 years. One wants to do international level playing tennis, and one wants to do only singing. So they are doing a homeschooling kind of it to make sure that they have enough time to practice 8 hours or 10 hours like that. That's a very, very different, difficult. Very few kids will know at the age or such a young age that okay, what they wanted to do. But still, for all, I always says you should just know if you are in India graduation, okay, 20 to 25 lakhs, you should take care. If it is in abroad, of course, abroad grad and undergrad is quite high, which is 2 CR or 1.5 crore at least. And then masters in India and abroad will be around 20 to 50 lakhs. So this first level is how to teach a child about investing. That's another level I have been thinking. One is talk about how we are investing, and second is how to make kids also know about investing. Because if they don't have a concept, it will be very, very difficult for them to manage overall level. So what I have been doing a value of money as a one of the awareness program for the kids, and I have a one section only for parents and one section is for the kids. So parent section today I'm going to tell you that maybe I started when they were age of 12 or 13 odd, and depending on you how comfortable you are with the kids writing the accounts, I have given minimum 3 to 4 times to run the monthly budget. So they are going to take care of the full home budgeting by making sure from the time giving to get the milk coupon or the taking care of mobile uh, bills. You can have it anything, food, for anything you can think of, giving to the servants, giving to all the basic things. The two things it makes them to realize, and if they are very good still they use, and because I also use writing the accounts. So first of all they will get in habit of writing in accounts, because I will say, okay, I'm giving you 1 lakh rupees and you have to manage the full house. And if money is not there, and you will not believe, most of the time it happened that twice they came back and they said money is over. So I said, why you didn't plan it? Because I am doing to do in 1 lakh last so many years. Why you are not able to do? So sometimes they said, okay, so much money, and they must have gone out. At least I'm just giving example, 4 to 5 times taken the food from outside, which was not planned. So, or something has come which is unplanned, something is broken. So, most of the time, this will help you. I'm assuming you right. You budget the home and then you make it sure you give it to kids. This will give them a life skill for a life, that how much they. So, I am giving nowadays 2,000 rupees a month, and they are supposed to write in their app that where all they spend. And when they see, because nowadays all these hi-fi apps will tell you you spend more on a travel or a taxi or the food or clothing, they will themselves will get analyzed and start managing the things very well. I have been seeing this with them and their friends, and I'm sure this will happen with you also. So this child education planning is a superset or a subset of financial uh, things. So I just wanted to start with the financial planning, and then I will take it to the kids education. So most of the time, what is a financial freedom? So dream is not something you see in the sleep. The dream is a thing that doesn't allow you to sleep. That's very well said by Dr. Abdul Kalam. And that's where we started with how to get a financial freedom. How you make sure that you get to sleep peacefully, that you know that my all family and my retirements are peaceful.
Setting up smart goals based on what you want, making sure they are specific with clear details, measurable with exact amount, attainable but challenging enough, realistic with necessary skills and knowledge, and it should be time bound so that you start taking action without any delay. Next, you need to know where you stand financially. List down what and how much assets you own. Also list down how much liabilities you have. The difference between these two is your real net worth. It will give you an idea about how far you are from your goals. Third pillar is to know how much you need to save. Normally, people save whatever is left after spending from their income. But the right way of saving is to set aside at least 30% of your income based on your financial goals from your income, and then use what is left for your expenses. And finally, you need to create a budget for your finances. Budget helps you to save more. Also ensure that the payment of personal debt should not exceed 25% of your income at any level. Call us now to build strong pillars for securing your family.
How do I teach my children value for money?
We love our children a lot and we want the best for them. But sometimes we also end up spoiling them by giving in to their demands all the time. I think the starting point for us also is to look at whether some of these demands are unreasonable. And if they're unreasonable, I think we need to tell them more. In that way, they will also, in the future, learn to hear a no to some of their unreasonable demands. In my book, Honey, I Lost All Our Money, value for money of children has always been a favorite chapter for many of the readers. I think we should look at it a little more innovatively and look for ideas to engage the children and teach them value for money directly. Now, one thing that my spouse Rachna does very well is she gives a budget for gifts during their birthdays or even while we travel, there's a budget to spend. That brings in a whole new perspective and they start looking at it, looking at the prices and seeing how do they fit it within their budget. Similarly, we can look at maybe giving them the responsibility of, let's say, managing a monthly budget or even a birthday party so that they learn from it and start being more sensitive to how they use money. I think for us parents, it's a very, very important aspect, and it is really important to teach them, engage children, even while you make your investments. Can you start engaging with them at an early date, and they will do very well.
So that says that all that how we should engage them, because most of the time when we don't engage, it is a both the sides. So they always feel that they have so much of parents have so much of money. You just go to the ATM and get all the money. We can get it, and this is what I have started very very early. I can say that when they just know what is numbers, maybe when they are 5 or 6. So when I used to go supermarket, of course nowadays it's only the Zepto, Swiggy or whatever Blinkit, they keep getting it. But previously when we used to go to supermarket and they will ask me, okay, I want a chocolate or a Coke or a chips or something, so I will know approximately how much it will be coming. So I used to make sure purposely that I'll say, okay, I'll give you only 20 rupees. So I wanted them to learn what they should do, prioritize what they like it. They cannot get everything. So I knew that, okay, if they're taking Coke, they can't take a chips, or if they take a chips, they can't take the chocolate. So it was not that key I don't want it to give them. I may give it maybe later on, but I want them to learn three basic things of prioritization, know the decision making, and what is they love it. So they should know what they wanted. They cannot get every time what they are looking for. This is the basic financial planning. I'll just skip because we have just run the video. This is the same thing where I'm just trying to take care today is child education part of it in this. So, what is the child education process? So, these are the basic four process where we are supposed to do. So, sometimes I'll just give an example here. If you have a child, let us say 5 years old, so you will say, where are you and want to be? So, you are, as of today, you can say, you have a kid which is 5 years old. When a kid is 18 and 22, you want a taking care of on a graduation and master's planning. Okay, so these are the two goals you are setting for the kids. This is the another thing. Everybody's bringing brought ups are different and thinking. I'm always saying there's nothing wrong to make them more independent. Sometimes if they have money, but I still say that, okay, you give them an education loan so they complete the things and they be accountable to pay their own money. It's anyway you are a guarantor, so it is okay sometimes if you are not able to achieve that because you have a supplementary to take an education loan. But uh, that is the two things. First you have to decide, then where are you in a financial. So in case till 5 years if you have saved some money, most of the best part of an Indian culture is the grandparents keep giving the money in their birthdays or the maybe festival times and all the stuff. So I don't know. Most of the time, people used to have the piggy banks and then they keep it. I keep it whatever money they get it on the festivals or birthdays, and I put a little bit money from my side, and every birthdays I put in their name, and which is of course I do it in mutual funds. So you will be telling that okay, this much money already I have it. So that's the second thing. So third thing is how I should go till there. So you started the destination first in Google Map. Second thing, you find it out what are the different three routes you have. Then you have to find it out what are how to go into which route you are looking for, a shortest route, the longest route, the best route, or it is smooth route or not risk route. So you can have many more routes, and you are going to find that planning or asset allocation. Because another friend of ours, they told me yesterday, Rachna, I am okay to have a lesser money, but I don't want anything market linked. I said, okay, fair enough. So if you know that if you don't want it at all, any risk, you will be getting only 6 to 7% returns. So he said, fine. So it is a mind perspective of a people or a risk appetite of the people. Because I told you are putting, let us say, Sukanya Samriddhi, you are putting in a PF, PPF, you are putting in a insurance. All of them are talking about 15 years, and there is not even one single statistics of past data says that if you are putting in a market for 15 years you are negative, not even one single place. So it is a thinking that you can do diversification, but yes, you should know what is your risk appetite and do asset allocation accordingly. It's not necessary to do very often the investment periodic review because so fast it doesn't happen. We are talking about a long term gain. We are talking about long term our financial goals or a child education goal to create a good corpus. So if I see every month or every 2 weeks, it's not going to change. So this is the another concept I run with. I believe it in, and that's what I tell to whoever is my customer also. Don't get panicked. Don't get noise in your mind. Okay, market has fall, COVID is gone, this has come. These are a very well history repeat itself kind of concept, because 92 Harshad Mehta scam happened, 2000 dot-com bust, 2010 financial crisis, 2019 it's COVID. Name changes, but the market goes up and down in 8 or 9 years. So it is okay because your goals has not yet come. So what is in your hand, you should look, you should do. Your hand have, I can diversify, I can reduce my risk, I can do investments, think long term, be disciplined. That will create you the long term compounding effect. Just doing a noise coming to you from all the social media, WhatsApp and other things, it is not going to affect anything. I can bet you 100 times concept never change. So I believe it's not money, it is our behavior makes the money. So for example, if somebody start early, do discipline investments, think long term, diversified, you will 100 to 100% will make the money. So, what are the child education planning you should look at? You should decide the age. You are looking at 18 or 22. So, estimate the current education cost. When you are estimating the current cost, you have to decide you are looking in India or abroad, because cost differs. The another point to be taken, when you are doing the education abroad, your inflation is very low, but when you are doing in India, the inflation is high. Even though inflation is low abroad, I continue to have a same inflation for a calculation. The reason is when you are doing in a abroad and doing a planning, you get double side code sword, because you get a market plus currency fluctuation also. So you have an inflation one side and one side currency also fluctuates. So we have to take a little bit of currency also. Calculate the amount, which I will show you now in Excel. Very simple formulas, you can do it in your own Excel. Otherwise, I'll ask Sanjay to send that Excel. Play around with an Excel yourself and you can do it. Estimate the returns, what can be generated. You can say that, which most of the time I tell our people also, take one insurance policy for the kids' education perspective, because only reason is it have a waiver of premium. In case something happens to the parent, that policy continue till 18. Okay, so that's the one of the reason, and the rest, because you're looking long term, you do it through the equity side. Calculate the amount, how much you should invest yearly or monthly. There are few facts which I can say that most of the Indian considering nowadays overseas education, which is a trend. Of course, Singapore. So there are so many places people go abroad for few reasons. Some of the they have taken the subjects or the sectors which is better, or they are able to get the jobs at side. So US is always one of the topmost side. Last 1 or 2 years, US is being little bit reduced because of, I can say, visa, and now Canada has picked up very very well, because getting a PR is very easy in Canada, and getting the admission plus your visa is coming very easy. So Singapore, Australia, and UK is been doing. Europe is been very fairly good. Mainly people who are in sports management, mechanical side. That's the one thing. Singapore, Hong Kong side is more on the financial side. Australia is in a generic. Lot of people are been talking on these things lot of time. So you have to make sure, in case you are looking in these areas or in these countries, you have to make sure that you take care of currency plus inflation, both of them. So how to invest in the thing? Let us put it in a, again, I'll just go to the directly and come back.
Admission in the best college or university for a child is one of the most precious dreams of any parent. It requires two elements for this dream to turn into reality: your child's hard work and good grades, your financial preparedness. What if your child gets the good grades and gets the admission letter from her dream college, and you are financially unable to fund that dream? Really scary situation, isn't it? Creating a corpus for your child's higher education requires you to start investing the day your child is born. According to rough estimates, on an annual basis, the education inflation is about 10%. If the cost of professional studies in your dream college is rupees 10 lakhs today, and your child is just born, then after 18 years, the cost of the same fees would be rupees 55.59 lakhs. Such a huge corpus requires you to invest in a suitable product from the very first day your child is born. If you start early, you can accumulate the corpus easily. If you delay in starting investing, then achieving your goal would be difficult. Call us now to know the suitable and appropriate product to start your SIP.
This is the execution plan. I'm just trying to say, if you are looking even abroad, or the kid is in seventh, eighth, ninth, this is the best. I'm talking about seventh, eighth, ninth standard, not a age. Maybe you can start having, because nowadays lot many, each cities have these counselors. They have those basic tests to understand what are the liking for the kids, what are the skills that kid is having. They will help in a what kind of course you can choose, in case if you wanted to go abroad, which country, university, and the cost will be involved. This is the best way to go. I also believe that counseling is nowadays not so costly. Most of the time, when one time or two times you go to find it out, it is costing around 10 to 15,000 to do those tests and then analyze. This is what same I've been saying. I have been telling every time the video says the same. If you take the inflation and today, which is very, very less per year, if I'm talking about here, is better to whenever the kids, so even if you have not done it, you can do it now, so nothing wrong. A lot of time customer comes to me and say, Rachna, why I didn't meet you before, I must have lost so much of years. So I say there is nothing called you lost the year, you can start now. So however how much you have, you start now, then you don't have to come after 5 years that I didn't start off. So somebody asked me yesterday, I had another corporate webinar, and that person asked me, is it a right time because it's an all-time high? So I said all time high is always you're comparing with the past. And you don't know because now every day is all time high because we have crossed the all time high. So if after 1 year, if the Sensex become 1 lakh, you will say, why you didn't tell me it was low? So we normally compare with the past and say high or low. So there is nothing wrong to start anytime. That is very important. Then it is high or low, as long as you are disciplined both the sides when the market is low or in high. So I'll just show you the Excel. Please tell me if you can see my Excel. Can you see? So I made it big. So here we are trying to say if what is the amount you are looking for education undergrad maybe. Okay. So if I'm saying, so I'll give you another example. Undergrad, if we are doing BA, BCom, BBA, kind of roles with, my daughter did a BBA in a Christ. For 3 years, it was only 8 lakhs odd. Okay. But if you are doing an engineering or professional course like a architect, you are doing that will be quite costly. So depending on that, you take the cost. So we can, I will show you other way also where we can do cash flow wise year on year. Instead of 10 lakhs, I can say 3 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 3 lakhs, and then do the NPV. So or we can do lump sum amount and say how much it will cost. So I'm just giving an example here. If they are doing CA, like a lot of time nowadays combinations are coming with the degree, with they call it with the honors, one additional subject. So let us say 10 lakhs is the part of it. I have taken 8% of inflation. You can change this inflation depending on where you feel it's going to be 6, 8. If it is international, you can say 2. What is your current age, kid's age now? So if the kid is 5, you need the money at when that kid is 20, or let us say 18. So 18 is a graduation completed. So what is required here? So I just wanted to explain here very clearly is simple Excel. There is nothing called rocket science here. I assume you can see the formula pad. Can you see formula? So here I'm just saying rate. Rate is the same as inflation. What is the number of years I'm going to increase the amount, which is called you need when kid is at 18 and now kid is at 5 means 13. 18 minus 5. What is the today's value you think you required for an education is called 10 lakhs. So this is called a formula called future value FV. So what is happening that today's 10 lakhs is equivalent to you can say 27 lakhs when your kid is 18 years old. So you need to plan as per 27 lakhs. Okay. So I am saying to get 27 lakhs after 13 years, how we have to do. So it is called the present value. I am doing a, it's called discounting a present value. If I want after 13 years 27 lakhs, how much money I should have as on today? So I am sure short I will get a 7 lakhs 87,000 if you have in your bank now. You are sure short you will be able to take care of a kid's education. How? This money you will invest somewhere where the returns will be at the rate of 10% year on year. If you think you don't have that money, 7 lakhs, or you have not yet started investing for the kids, then you should invest 1.1 lakh in a year. Okay, so this is called a formula called PMT. And if you feel yearly is difficult, you can divide that yearly into monthly and do an SIP of 9,200 rupees odd. So, this is the way how you can make sure you will be able to get the amount what is is, of course, the goal is coming 2 or 3 years back, you should reduce the risk, because in the time of goal, you can't say market is low, I can't take care of it. So if the kid is 18, from 16 years onwards, you should slowly start putting into the hybrid to debt, and that you take care of it. Of course, second is the market realignment you can do. Third is the if the fund manager is moving in and out, a fund is not doing good, you will exit. These are the three places when you exit. But make sure whenever you are doing the kids' education, 2 years before you start moving across, other than the lock in funds, into the debt side. I have a customer who was not able to send the son, even though he cracked all the exam and got admission in MIT, because he was not able to sell his real estate. That's one of the biggest thing I have seen. A lot of people says, okay, I will be able to do, I'll sell my real estate and I will take care of it. And sometimes it's very sad that he said, okay, I'll do next year, and next year he didn't get the admission. So please try to take care at least those lock-in funds, which is not liquidate, 1.5 year place to take care of those. Yeah. Anything else, Sanjay?
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I think we have done with the questions.
Thank you and have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy yourself. Have a nice time. Bye bye.